UMG Xbox One Smite LAN, where 4 teams, Juice, Release, Elevate, and Eager, have battled it out over the past 2 months to qualify for their spot to compete for $10,000, and the first Xbox team to qualify to the Smite World Championship.
Today we're going to be starting off with the bottom side of the bracket as the second and third seeded Eager and Elevate will battle off for their chance to go to Worlds in finals at least tomorrow.
After that, we'll be seeing Juice take on Release, and then we'll have the third place match tomorrow, and as well as the grand finals. These matches today are going to be a best of 5, and this is pretty interesting. Looking at it right away, Eager versus Elevate, these teams have really been, I'd say, the founders of Xbox One Smite. They've been competing and sponsored for such a long time. Elevate actually winning MLG New Orleans a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago. Eager as well taking second place there. So this is kind of a rematch from that that event.
But remember, there was an infraction on the Elevate team. Chapo, their jungler, and probably, at least in my opinion, their star player, got suspended for this LAN. As a result, it'll be Pooka going into the jungle from the ADC role, and they'll be picking up their substitute now, Hotbo, formerly of, I want to say, Moral, which I think has disbanded since.
Hotbo has been on a number of Xbox teams. He's been around the scene since the start. He made the switch over, and he has been one of the most prominent and strongest Hunter players, I'd say, on Xbox. It's going to be really interesting to see how he's going to be matching up against Aircougar, though. Aircougar, kind of the same thing. This player who was pretty well known in the PC scene, made the switch to Xbox and became probably the best player at the start of the scene, and then since then has still remained as one of the strongest, now playing for Eager.
Eager also, their star player to me is going to be Dwurst, their solo laner. The guy has a decent god pool, very rarely loses lane, great rotations, good team fight presence. The guy is just all around very, very strong, and I'm looking at him big time for a win for Eager. If Dwurst does not win his lane, I'm expecting that Elevate will have a significantly higher chance to take it, considering Uzzy from ahead is very hard to deal with, but Dwurst just seems so just consistent.
Consistency is something that I don't want to say we don't see on Xbox, but I think is hard to have on Xbox. A lot of these players, really, they haven't been playing at the highest competitive level for such a long time. The Xbox scene is so new that we do see actually the top teams kind of remain the same, but really 1 through 4, they're kind of switching up. Who do you think has the edge at the very least in this matchup? Would you give it to Eager simply because of Elevate having that roster switch up?
Well, I mean, I guess it depends, right? If Pooka can make that transition, I think Hotbo, I have faith that Hotbo will do well, but I actually have not seen Pooka play in the jungle. The only thing I know, and I didn't get to see the games, where they fought first-seeded Juice in the MLG Pro bracket, or rather Pro League, and they went 1-1. So the team has still, obviously, a ton of potential.
It should be interesting here. We're going to be getting into the first match here in just a couple minutes, guys. Once again, this is the UMG Xbox One Smite LAN. The teams are competing not only for $10,000, but also for the first Xbox spot at the Smite World Championships, where there'll be a $150,000 invitational. You can see the teams right there on your screen getting ready to battle it out. And these guys, they've been practicing since I got in at like 9 a.m. and like I've heard them screaming through the walls. Like, these guys are ready.
So you actually see the difference. On the Eager side, it was like, you know, look at it. It's all smiles. They're all laughing. They're having a good time. There's Aircougar right now. Over on the Elevate side, it was a little bit of like nervousness. You know, they kind of like, oh no, there's smiles
They're
too.
smile. They're getting ready to.
A little bit less smiley though.
Just a little bit less, is that?
Well, yeah, come on, man. He's going in right now.
I think they're going back and forth with each other. But yeah, the teams, they seem ready to get into game here. What are we looking at for picks for both these teams? What are their stars that they really like to draft?
Well, honestly, Elevate's like top pick was Thor, back when Chapo was still playing as the main roster. So I don't know if Pooka is still looking for that. I would probably have them lean towards Hotbo's main gods. In my eyes, one of those, most importantly, is Freya. His Freya is incredibly strong. It's incredibly safe as well. And having a god who can take themselves out of the team fight and do damage from above is probably a little bit more valuable when you have a sub, because you don't have to worry about team chemistry as much in terms of peel. So I think that's really strong. For ADC on the other side, Eager, more than likely looking for Medusa. This has been Aircougar's go-to god since the very beginning.
I mean, the god provides a lot of presence in team fights, especially on Xbox, I would say. The team fights happen more often
Yeah.
From what I've seen, there's a lot less pick-oriented comps where like players are like getting picked off. It more seems to be like we're going to be fighting 3v3s, 4v4s, and 5v5s pretty
And
early in the game. It doesn't stop.
Oh, look at this. We're into picks and bans. Elevate going to have the first pick, first ban option here as Ymir elects as the second seed to take second pick. Remember, guys, this is a best of 5. Loser of each game will get to choose what side of the map they play from. And it looks like this time, Ymir is going to start off strong. Hell, going to be banned to start.
Hell, one of the top picks and bans, I'd say, on Xbox Smite. Sometimes very hard to lock down in team fights.
Unless you're F-Dot.
Unless you're F-Dot. We're not... F-Dot's not here. We don't want to like start ragging on him, but he did not have the best game in the playtest yesterday.
Dude,
with
Pecky's went off.
Pecky's carried. Sun Wukong going to be banned out for Ymir. Elevate looking for their final ban of the first phase here. What do you expect to see? Is it going to be mages, or are we going to start to see the Guardians banned out?
You know, Guardians are really strong. Against Elevate, I'm going to expect that Ymir is going to take away Kumbhakarna. There's a player on Elevate named Gustavy. Now, a lot of you would actually know him as Wiggles. Wiggles is is a former player on Enemy in the PC SPL. He switched to the Elevate team, and he's playing support, and his Kumbhakarna is just, you can't mess with it, man. You cannot deal with
Wiggles is a very good player. He's been playing Smite for multiple years, been really on the fringe at the high level, and he's made the transition very well. Zhang Kui going to be banned out by Elevate, and the final ban coming through for Ymir is going to be Hades. So some big AoE mages coming through. Guan Yu first pick, though.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, didn't expect this at all. Guan Yu, a ton of protection shred, a lot of damage. Very, very hard to deal on Xbox with Cavalry Charge because you can't turn away and dodge as much. You're almost guaranteed to take one extra hit. And remember, you're dealing bonus damage every time you get a consecutive hit with Guan Yu's ultimate, which means on Xbox, it's technically doing more damage. But there's the big man. Xing has been one of the strongest picks on Xbox, strongest picks on PC. This character is just a magical version of Sun Wukong, which makes him, in my eyes, more valuable because you can't build Mystical Mail against him.
Do you expect to see this in the Soul Lane? I know we've seen it in a couple different roles, but Soul Lane seems to be the spot where we see
the jungle, ADC.
Come on, Hunter. Really? We're gonna see Aircougar run the Xington? No.
Come on,
Janus gonna be locked in for Ymir there. Pick's gonna go back to the way of Elevate, but a lot of global presence picked up there just by Janus. I mean, Janus, such a strong god, I'd say, especially for teams in a scene that really likes to team fight often. Having that mobility for your team, super useful.
Ymir going to get locked in here for Elevate. No surprise. Good control, great damage. Doesn't really function on the Y-axis as much, which is very important. It's much harder on Xbox to use that Y-axis than it is on PC. So characters, like Guan and like Ymir who don't have to really use that too much are amazing. Ho Yi, obviously still my pick on Xbox and on PC as my favorite hunter. Insane damage, impossible to box, super safe. Like, I just love this god right now.
I mean, the recent buffs to Ho Yi really benefiting him the most. But he's going to be paired with Ymir there, and that's an interaction we don't see too often, but actually pretty strong. The Ymir wall into the Ho Yi bounce, we've seen some pretty big plays come off of it. It's not the easiest thing to do, but with the dual lane coming out of Elevate, that's been kind of switched up. It'll be interesting to see if they can really pull off that synergistic look.
What we want to see is Mark of the Golden Crow get activated, which is Ho Yi's 2.
Yep.
Right? And then Ymir has to land the freeze and immediately go into the carpet for mass damage, right? Don't even auto-attack cancel. Get it from max range. And then as soon as the carpet gets activated, you put the wall up. And as the wall comes up, they should be getting outside the freeze, and that's when you hit the double bounce. And you're guaranteed it. If you do it perfect timing with a level 1 freeze, you have just enough time to get the entire kit off. And then you could chase with Die Bomb if necessary, which is a very damaging ability. I'm kind of hoping that Ho Yi goes into that Bluestone Pendant.
I mean, Bluestone Pendant is very strong. We've seen it on hunters that really like to go aggro. Unfortunately, a lot of times you're pairing it with not a lot of potions.
Right.
If you elect to start like the Transcendence build, which is what we see mostly.
Right. Either Morningstar or the Gauntlet. No matter which one you pick, you're going to have 50 gold remaining, which means you get either 1 health or 1 mana pot. And if you go Bluestone, you're getting 100 mana out of the gate, but you're not gaining that passive build that you would be getting from Death's Toll. So it winds up being a little bit awkward in the beginning. Some people like to go Bluestone, just a few pots instead, maybe even Boots 1 and try to rush the Boots. There's a lot of options. And I feel like on Xbox, going Boots is even more safe because turn speed, being a factor, it's a little bit more important to have things like movement speed, which is why I think Fatalis is also very valuable on the Xbox.
Looking at that early comp, though, Guan Yu, Ymir, and Hou-Yi picked up for Elevate. That's, I wouldn't say the most aggressive early game composition, but it's got a lot of burst damage early. There's a lot that could happen in these early and mid-game team fights. Do you expect Elevate to be looking to press the issue? Do you expect them to, honestly, even in picks and bans, start looking for that Isis maybe and that Thor?
Well, we're immediately assuming that Ymir is going support. That might not even be the case. Guan, you could be support, Ymir could be jungle, Ymir could be solo. I mean,
do we see really a lot of, I'd say, Ymir jungles come out from Elevate? I mean, I know
from
I know Pooka, you know, now
Xbox
new to the role.
Loves Ymir jungle.
Okay.
Ymir solo is not something that I see often, and I think it could be maybe one of those surprise picks. We know that there's a ridiculous amount of damage that he can do. He's incredibly safe wave clear. It's impossible to kill him. Like, he has so much control. I'm actually pretty surprised that we haven't been seeing him lately.
I mean, this is LAN, and a lot of teams do save some picks for LAN. It's not something that they'll
Chalk
maybe
mid?
use in Pride. We're not gonna. We could chalk mid. We could see it. We could see it. I don't know. It's pretty strong.
Dude, chalk mid against mages, it's on Xbox when you cannot walk out of that axe, you're going to feel it.
Oh, man.
You're gonna
a lot
feel
of
it.
damage. Reminder, guys, it's the UMG Xbox One LAN where 4 teams, Juice Gaming, Release, Eager, and Elevate, are going to be battling it out for $10,000 as well as that coveted SWC spot. The first one for Xbox, there's going to be 4 in total. The other qualifications will be through an open bracket at SWC itself, MLG, and then an ESL one for all the European players as well. But game
that's
one...
coming up soon.
The ESL one?
The European one, I think, is like the weekend of Thanksgiving in North America.
The end of November, yes.
Yeah.
So we're qualifying, I'm pretty sure, all SWC teams this month, like in the next couple weeks.
Oh, no, I think the MLG LAN is next month.
Is it early December?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Well, everyone but MLG one. We won't.
Yeah, we got Super Regionals coming up on the 17th, guys. It's going to start. Remember, we're going to have 12 teams, 6 from North America, 6 from Europe on the PC side, playing for just 5 spots. Wow.
This is... SWC is so close. We were just talking about it just a couple months ago, but we're going to be back into picks and bans, guys. Elevate versus Eager. The pick coming out for Eager here soon. They've already got their Xing and they've already got their Janus.
This is a hunter pick to me.
I feel so too. They definitely don't want Elevate to be able to just ban the hunter they don't want to deal with.
And if Xing Chen isn't support and they pick their support, then they're going to kind of give their strategy away. So it's most likely going to be Sobek going to the support role, Xing Chen going to solo, although they could switch it up. It just seems more likely.
You know what I'm seeing a lot of is I'm seeing a lot of parallels drawn between I'd say the Australian Pro League on PC and the Xbox Smite scene. Both scenes really like to fight often, and even at the LAN earlier at PAX Australia to qualify the Australian team, it was really all front lines picked up early, and we're seeing kind of the same thing. Guan Yu, Ymir, Xing and Sobek all in the first phase.
Elevate taking away Medusa. No surprise there, given how effective Aircougar has been over the last few months. They still have a hunter pick, likely going to be the shot here for Eager. With Hou-Yi picked up, I'm assuming this is going to be something safe like a Rama. They're going to need movement. We've also seen Aircougar play an incredible on her.
Has he played any Kronos?
Not
I know that's kind of been a
really.
pick that we've seen occasionally.
Catalyst and Transonics from Epsilon and Juice really love Kronos. Not many others tend to run it. We're going to see the jungler pick here. It's going to be Batz.
That's really surprising to me, considering the fact that I would imagine you would want to leave your jungle for last pick, just so you can have the counter. You already know what the enemy's going to be running in duo.
Getting Fear No Evil here, with having Xing 10 Whirlwind and Xing 10 Knockup and Sobek's 8 forms of CC, all to protect this Janus who can just be sending these unstable vortexes that you're not going to dodge, right? I think this is a really smart pick.
There's a lot of AoE on Eager for now. Elevate looking for their final 2 picks, looking for their mid and jungler more than likely, although Ymir could find his way into that jungle. We could be looking for a support. Geb and Athena still available as well. Gods that, you know, don't seem to be as strong on Xbox, or not as prioritized, I would say, but there's going to be the Athena locked in.
And there's the Isis. So they're looking for major burst damage. You know, with Isis, Hou-Yi, right, they're looking to just take down one person super quick and put the fight in their favor after they reinitiate with the Circle of Protection. This is very smart. On the other side, Eager is just going for circles, man. And with that, I want to see some circle ults. You know, they have their hunter pick remaining, and it's going to be, no, they're going to go single target with Xbalanque.
But that's another global on the board to combine with Janus. Xbalanque, very strong. I mean, in all Smite scenes, right? Xbalanque just kind of creates this space and this distraction. Darkest of Nights, probably one of the most underrated ultimates in Smite, I would imagine.
You know, everyone's like, it blinds everyone, but it also increases his movement speed and his attack range.
Yeah, you can actually hit towers outside of their range while your ultimate is activated.
It's 95-foot auto attacks.
That's crazy.
It's actually nonsense.
When people actually hit those 90-foot autos, like you feel it. You see it. It's like, come on. Like that's a really long auto attack.
If Xbalanque wasn't in the game, right? He's already considered a good pick,
yes.
like a top tier pick, you know, especially on Xbox where he's super favored. If he was not in the game and we put him in now, I think the entire community would be outraged.
They'd be like so mad.
Like, what is this ultimate? How is he allowed to do this?
Not another global. Come on. The teams, though, getting prepared. There's Eager on your screen, all 5 members. Looks like they're about to get into game. Same with Elevate there on the other side. This game, this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be a rematch of the MLG New Orleans matchup where last time it was Elevate who came out on top 3-1. We'll see if Eager can turn it around.
Jumping into the game here, Eager going to be playing out of the top side of the mini-map, and it's going to be Elevate playing from the order side. We're riding in with Hoppo. You'll notice Hoppo not rocking that Elevate tag. He is a sub. He was recently picked up. We talked about this a few times. But he's an incredible player. On the team that he was on for MLG, I would definitely say he was the star.
I would say Elevate got lucky. The fact that Hoppo was available, Elevate got pretty lucky.
Yeah, they had no time. They had like 3 days to find a sub.
Chapo was...
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
No, they didn't take that.
They were looking at Xing 10, you could see, and Hoppo looking for it, but the rest of Elevate going to be backing to base 4 now. A lot of early aggression and positioning, but nothing going to come of it for now.
Did you notice the Elevate backs, by the way? The person closest to Xing 10 backs first, and then the person after him, like closer to the right side of the map, backed 1 second later, and the person behind him backed 1 second later. This way, they could cover the person backing first in case he got initiated on, and then they would back by the time they actually got caught. Whether they meant to do that or not, that was awesome.
The timing.
Awesome.
Timing really well done. One thing here that we're going to see is Hotbo on this hoe. You're going to clear this camp incredibly fast.
He wants that triple bounce.
He's going to get the triple bounce. Athena as well, very strong support to clear early. And we're going to see this Hoyi Athena really rotate and probably dominate the early game in this laning phase in duo.
Going to get started here. Only a few seconds till the camp spawn. It looks like we're not going to see an invade on either side. Both teams trying to play this safe.
Red buff going to be taken there, and like you said, safe boys for now. Looking at the jungle matchup here, we have a Hunbots who's really not going to want to fight early on. I mean, especially considering the other team not only has the Ymir, but also the Isis. Isis, probably the strongest, actually, I would say, is the strongest mage for the first couple minutes. I mean, yeah, there's no mage that can outpush her.
There's no way to outpush Isis. It doesn't even get close. I mean, even with her getting to lane later, because the order side has a few extra steps, she winds up outpushing Janus and controlling the right side. We should also note that because Xing 10 didn't take any type of damage, he's actually much slower on the clear. Hunbots didn't get crits off of his attacks, which means their camps were incredibly slow. By the time he even rotates, this camp is going to be down, which means it's possible that Elevate could even contest the left side mid camps.
This is a very bad start for Eager because not only did the Hunbots take a while, but like you said, they grabbed that early camp, and now the left side Harpies are going to be immediately contested. Typically, if you don't have the stronger push, right? If you're facing an Isis Ymir, you don't want to fight them.
Just walk past.
You just give up the first camps on the right side. You go straight to the left side, you take them, and then you kind of just lose a little bit of early pressure. But now they can't even get those left side Harpies for free.
You know, we should also talk about the fact that if they on Elevate manage to get those left camps, they're also going to be a level ahead at that point.
Yes.
Which means their next wave push they're going to win, and then they can invade the back camps. And if they take a back camp as well, mid's not hitting 5 until a wave and a half after, which means that Janus rotation isn't going to mean as much.
What I'm looking at for Elevate is a lot of early aggression. They have the aggro comp. They have this composition that wants to fight early and should fight early. They should invade. They should look for kills because the later the game gets, I'd say Eager starts to become the favored team. They have a lot of team fighting presence, a lot of team fighting ultimates, Hunbots, as well as just an assortment, the Janus rotations as well. I'd say that we really want to see a lot of aggression from Elevate.
So, Hunbots, I think, is the key to this whole game. I think the win or the loss rides on the Fear No Evils, how they're placed, how the team fight will be affected if he gets crits off. I feel like Hunbots is one of the squishiest, if not the squishiest pick on this on these teams, considering the fact that he's a person with no defense who must be in the front line. We got to get those Mail of Renewals online or some level of defense by 4th item. I would even like to see it 3rd. Skip the Deathbringer. Go, Boots, Jotuns.
That's what we see a lot of the times now, is really straight into the Mail of Renewal after the Jotuns, and then into the Deathbringer, then into the crit. Because Hunbat's, that's gonna cap his CDR, and a lot of it is really about those early Fear No Evils and getting that set. But guys, we're having a little bit of troubles. We're gonna get that sorted out, and we're gonna be right back with the return of Elevate taking on Team Eager. We're back in the game, guys. Elevate taking on Eager.
Oh.
Elevate. Oh, first
whoa,
blood.
Whoa. Yeah, Hoppo going down and in trouble. Actually, is that Pooka on support?
It looks like Pooka on support. One
so
more
Gustavy
hit,
is in the jungle.
and he's going to back off. Wow, okay, so a lot of early aggression. Gustavy also wiggles. He was a PC jungler, so it's no surprise there. But Team Eager, they're the team that we expected to be kind of on their back heels early in this match, but they take first blood and a lot of poke right now onto the mid laner.
It's strange to me. I mean, even though he was a jungler before, I mean, Gustavy to me was like the best support player on the console. Switching him seems almost insane to me.
But it apparently worked out, or it hasn't worked out so far there. Taking a look at the solo lane, Uzzy doing his best to match up against Dwurst on this Xing 10. This is a matchup that should be pretty interesting to see, but Uzzy getting the better of it early on.
Man, Uzzy, like, while he is getting better push, remember that Xing 10 in the end game is going to be much more viable. All he has to really do is make it through the early game, start getting those core items online, things like, Warlock Sash or Ethereal Staff, and then he just becomes unkillable.
For now, no, Hotbo and Pooka are going to have a lot of trouble. They gave up a very early first blood, and they gave Aircougar a lot of control in this lane. He's a Xbalanque, a god that typically doesn't really want to do too much in the early game. He wants to kind of sit back and farm and play passive, but now he has that, not only does he have an early kill, but it's also on to Xbalanque, so he has that bonus 5 power coming out from his passive. He's going to be swinging even harder.
Aggro pushing up. Remember, Aggro actually new to this comp as well. Their former mid lane on Elevate was Cloud. Cloud got removed for what they believed was trolling and scrims, which I think is pretty believable. And then they picked up Aggro, formerly of Aware, who's actually a really strong player.
For now, he's on this Isis, and Elevate, they fell behind early, but I would like to see them continue being aggressive. I don't want them to kind of like just...
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid, because if you let this comp get to late game, if you let Eager's comp get to late game, it's going to be rough.
Right there. I mean, he shot out that Ricochet so early. I think that was nerves. There was only 4 creeps there. He had full lane control. There was no reason for him to use it there. He should have frozen the lane closer to his tower. That way he could have had a much safer push. Now, to be able to fight the creeps, he has to either put himself in danger, put himself behind, or allow Xbalanque to push the wave freely, and that's what's happening. And check out the timing. He's going to go back here. He's already going to have his Curse Gauntlet. He actually, yeah, there it is. It's done.
Devo's online already at 3.5 minutes for Xbalanque. It's not something you want to see if you're matching up against him. Aircougar's going to start, getting his stacks on quite early. Going to get a lot of lifesteal and power for that. And it's going to be real rough for Hotbo to kind of like make it back into this match. Look at this though. Jellly could be in a little bit of trouble. Gustavy looks like he just looks like Elevate just want to secure these mid camps though. Not really interested in the fighting.
Hoppo's still 300 gold away from his dev's timing. This is a chance for Aircougar to get very aggressive and safely. All the while, Elevate should probably be aggressive in the mid lane. Silence actually walking into it.
I think that was needed. You saw Jellly there looking for the pluck. He wanted to pull him into tower, and without beads online early, we could have saw him comboed into that tower and a bit rough.
Speaking of which, Ice is completely out of position here. There's the Fear No Evil. Circle of Protection goes down. She's still under the tower. She didn't back off early enough, and Sambam credited with the kill. Ooh, that's going to hurt.
Gustav is in trouble as well, but look at this rotation coming out from Uzzy. They're looking for Jellly. Stun into the Ymir ult. Gustav finds the kill there, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 in the mid lane, but it's support for mid.
Do you know about some Guardians, though?
Guardians are OP. Guardians OP.
Hotbo, maybe not going to take too much damage, forced to dive bomb away. Still took a fair amount and going to have some trouble clearing this wave out. Actually, well, okay, Ricochet. He's over the 2,900 gold timing, which means he does have enough to finish up the dev's gloves, and he will head back to do so.
He's got Bluestone, and you can see Bluestone so far pretty good for that Houyi. Really helped him clear early, even though he gave up that first blood. Hotbo still behind, but he's recovered nicely, I would say. Gustavy, picking up that kill, pretty important for them to find that return after aggro got picked, and that was the combo I was talking about, right? You pluck the Isis, and then you kind of force her into the tower with that Fear No Evil, and Aggro might have been able to get out there, but unfortunately kind of stuck under tower after the Fear No Evil ended and took 2 more tower shots that probably weren't that necessary.
Really, it was only the last one he had to avoid, and when he was turning the Wind Gust, I feel like the turn speed really hurt him more than anything. He wasn't able to get out of the tower line in time because he was also trying to do damage. It was a little bit greedy, and he paid for it. Granted, like you said, they did manage a return, but, I mean, the mid going down hurts so much more. Isis being 0-1-1 right now, although she's not too far behind in gold, is far behind in experience.
And actually dead even in gold so far. I mean, you take a look, and Sambam hasn't been able to farm too efficiently, was getting poked out. It was an Isis, but look at this. Jellly finds the pluck onto Hotpo, who's kind of in a rough spot, especially with the rotation from Matt Koiz.
Beautiful stun, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Actually, Aircougar very low. They're going to find aggro. Pooka going to find the return. Matt Koiz credited, however, with the double.
Now they're going to be stealing away this attack speed buff.
No,
Pooka going to be trying to defend it, but it's a 3 versus 1. He'd only die, likely.
I like that Pooka walked in. He's like, hey, guys, what you do? Oh, purple. Okay, man, enjoy. I'll see you later.
That's going to go over to Jellly as well, but, you know, they were able to pick up the 1 kill onto Aircougar. Pretty important there to allow Hotpo to at least remain even in that dual lane. But unfortunately, Matt Koiz picks up a double kill, and that's not what you want to see from a Batz. You know, Batz is a god that works very well in team fighting, and when he starts to get ahead, it's rough.
But remember, he's not ahead. Even with the 2 kills, you know, the 1 extra kill and the assist that Wiggles doesn't have, the gold is even. I mean, it's a 20 difference right now. Plus, you should note that there's actually a level advantage for Gustavy right now.
And you can see that Elevate are still continuing to be the aggressors, even though they're down in kills. Gustavy constantly looking, finds the blink wall.
I don't know about all that.
It's not up, but he gets the stun onto Sambam. Should be able to get through that portal in time before the Isis Spirit Ball connects, and looks like it's going to be a general disengage, but Sambam continuing to get pressured out by Gustavy and aggro.
Hotpo, though, continuing to get pressured out by Aircougar. Oh, okay, I respect the attempt there. Wall not going to be great.
Freeze.
He'll get out pretty much for free. Freeze will hit both, however. Trouble for Aircougar. He will go down. Jellly taking a lot of damage as well. Trying to turn this one around with the lurking in the waters. Sambam, no, not going to get the stun. Ooh, that was close.
Aggro just barely missed that one. Jellly getting the ult off, but look at this. Sambam throws out that through space in time, but there's not any more aggression. Elevate just take the 1 pick, and, you know, Aircougar, he got the first blood in the early kill, but actually, no, he's still ahead. He's still about 700 gold ahead of Hotpo right now. Hotpo getting pressured out a little bit more than Aircougar, it seems.
Blink not available here. Now, this is post-nerf Blink. You see over that 90-second timing in the beginning.
Fear No Evil zone.
No, going to jump away. Probably the safer bet. Still, though, Matt Koiz a level down despite having that extra assist, and pretty far down in gold as well. You'll note about a 300 gold difference between the two as Ymir takes his 2nd trip back to the base.
Elevate actually winning in gold overall, even though they lost the first blood. Look at this, though. Uzzy could get ganked. Fear No Evil coming out, but a perfect timing on Cavalry Charge, and Uzzy going to walk out of that one for free.
That double ult waste, that was a really big win right there for Uzzy, especially considering that even in an extended engagement, Eager probably won't be able to kill Uzzy on that side, considering their mana pools were super small at that engage.
Uzzy, though, also not that much mana. It would have been a rough spill for him to get out, but so far that's going to be two big ultimates down for, you know, Elevate that, or excuse me, for Eager, that they're not going to be able to use to teamfight anytime soon. And, you know, it does seem to be that Elevate, they're continuing to force the issue. They're forcing the ultimates out, but Eager, they've responded so far.
Breastplate of Valor is coming out on 2 sides here. We're going to see not only one for the Xing 10 Dwurst, but we're also going to see one for Gustavy in the jungle for Ymir. And I think early game, this early, Breastplate winds up being a little bit more efficient, considering the fact that you're getting much more mileage out of Ymir's insane damage scaling just from levels. You know, remember, Glacial Strike, was it like 370 base?
It swings.
It's nonsense.
Gustavy, you can see Ymir sitting in this jungle. His blink online. He's looking for the gank.
I don't know about all this.
Matt Koiz, though, going to spot him out. Free's going to miss. And now Gustavy's in a rough spot. He's going to actually take the portal underneath and take a little bit of poke, charging his ultimate. Jellly and Matt Koiz going to be able to get out. Athena charging Defender of Olympus, but it's going to be a disengage from both teams.
You know, I'm looking at Wiggles for that one, right? He had the opportunity to freeze, and maybe that was land nerves. It looks like he tried to, like, consider his options. He considered for too long. He stepped out of the cone, and as a result, missed the freeze. Although he didn't really take much damage in return.
Look at this, though. Speed buff. Xing 10 rotating around.
No, not in time.
Not going to happen, though. Matt Koiz, it looks like he's actually going to get one of his first mid-camps all games. We're going to go to a listen-in with Eager, though, as it looks like a teamfight's about to break out.
We can look for the baiter. I'm
I want to grab red, and then you guys can
he warded gold. They de-warded gold.
They're going you, they're going you.
I'm
Can we go? Can we go there?
fine.
Help him, help him.
I'm fine. That's Ymir's blink freeze.
We can fight this. Maybe I
They
have
can't.
ult up. They're
Please, right?
they're just like backing off.
They're
Yeah,
right,
they're going at you. They're going at you.
Go. Fight this, fight this. Ult
Yeah,
over,
yeah.
ult over, ult over. I want to fight.
Ymir's here.
Okay. I'm gonna jump over his freeze.
Be careful, that's your jump down. That's Athena
That's
coming
his
in.
freeze. That's his
Look
freeze.
at
Missed a
all
lot.
on
He missed a lot. It's a good ult. It's a good ult.
I'm on Ymir, Ymir.
Ymir.
Ymir's low. Ymir's really low.
He's gonna wall.
I'm dashing.
Janus ult.
I'm committing to
Fight,
this.
fight, fight. They're in Isis ult.
I'm on ISIS. On ISIS.
Oh, dude, I'm like in there by myself.
No, I'm by myself right now. Kick it out. Kick it out.
No, I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm on
Unless you can like miraculously save me.
That's, I don't know. I'm playing bad, I guess.
Koiz trying to run away. Jellly. Ooh, Gustavy's going to get picked off. Jellly charging that ultimate, but one hit, and it looks like Hoppo's going to pick that up. So far, a 2 for 2. Sambam going to have to get out. Gustav or Uzzy chasing him down. No mana for Sambam, but he'll be able to get to his tower just in time.
So I don't know what happened. I think the Isis ult was such a good bait, and I think my original analysis had to do with the Hunbots Fear No Evils are going to be the key there. And that Fear No Evil just net them nothing. They were focusing so much into Ymir, who already has defense online, who's already insanely hard to kill because of the health scaling. Gold Fury goes to Elevate as Dwurst finds himself completely out of position. Oh, but no, Uzzy does not take the route to try to cut him off. He just goes for mid-camps and takes the safe win.
I mean, Sambam and Koiz were coming from their jungle, so unlikely that Dwurst falls there. But the Gold Fury, a big pickup for Team Elevate now. They were already winning in gold, and now they've extended to about a 1,200 gold lead. And these fights, like you said, Koiz not really getting the Fear No Evils off that he wants. And I'd say that Breastplate of Valor playing a big part in that last engagement. It wasn't fully built, but it was at least tier 2. The physical defense and Eager, they dumped so much into Gustavy, but it took them so long to finally take him down that Elevate were able to find the important picks on the back end.
Also, I want to note the Hunter difference here because it's pretty much even now between the two. Remember, First Blood went to Xbalanque, went to Aircougar, and Hoppo not only fights back to be even at 2-2, but now there's a negative score right now for Aircougar at 1-3.
And, Aircougar had about a 600 or 700 gold lead at the start of
6.
that last fight, and now that's been completely neutralized. Hoppo able to find an important kill, and as well as that Gold Fury just evens up that direct matchup for now.
Oh, the slow third auto attack from the chain of Isis, remember it's at 1.5 times, was the reason she didn't pick up that ward.
Aircougar.
Oh, Gustavy didn't quite commit to that one. It looks like there was 2 different calls. Gustavy could have blinked in. I'm surprised he didn't go for it.
Uzzy and
This is the solo lane.
Uzzy and Dwurst continue to just farm up for now, both level 14. So, I mean, they're both 0, 0,
Now
0.
you dash through, right? Yeah, like.
Yep, Uzzy has 1 assist. Like, this is probably what we're going to be seeing for a while, especially considering they're both building early defense.
No damage.
It's just, they're just playing with each other. It's percentage health, and it's still getting mitigated.
I love that lane, man. Yeah, but, I mean, we have the Breastplate of Valor online right now for Dwurst. Uzzy going into that Emerald Talisman as well for some sustainability, going right into Jotuns. Afterwards, we're going to get a taunt. Only Jelly's going to be hit, taking a decent amount of damage, though, and actually getting hit by Ymir on the back end, forced to ultimate early, losing about 70% of his health. But Aircougar over in the left side solos down Hotbo in the meantime.
Hotbo has not been having a good matchup directly, and Aircougar adds another 5 power to his passive. In the mid lane, though, it seems that Elevate, they're kind of on different pages there. Gustavy in a lot of trouble. Aggro's here as well, but Koiz just going to jump away, and Gustavy, that ultimate Ice Shard just kind of baited out there.
Uh-oh. Whirlwind actually going to go right through the freeze. Uzzy trying to get something off here. Gustavy to fall. Good stun coming out from Uzzy. Can we find the follow-up? It's turning around a little bit more. Dwurst going to find a return, but it's still a 2 for 1 so far in favor of Elevate.
Uzzy, big rotation coming out from him, and they're able to pick up Dwurst, and nice engagement so far. Aircougar, in the meantime, though, has just been able to split push this entire time. He's going to get a tower, and he also got a lot of solo farm in the meantime while Hoppo was kind of sitting in base there waiting on the respawn. And Aircougar now, this is going to be a player that Elevate, they're going to have to worry and watch out for. He's 2, 3, and 5. He's got an extra 10 power on his passive, and now he went from dead even with Hotbo to once again a 700 gold lead.
Damage coming through once again.
Beats forced.
Can we actually, one more time, I'm sorry, can we go back to Xbalanque real quick? I want to see, I mean, obviously he should have been in Bolas by this point, and yeah, they're full. So he's doing Rising Jaguar last, so his solo kill onto Hoppo almost 100% came down to just straight up outboxing him.
And Aircougar has just been getting the better of Hotbo so far. Hotbo, he's been struggling in this matchup. He's the newest player to Elevate, and while he is one of the more skilled hunters on the Xbox Smite scene, he's doesn't have a lot of synergy, and this could be something to where maybe he's trying to prove himself. Maybe he's trying to outplay Aircougar and get the better of him in this matchup.
Uzzy back in the lane by himself. It seems the rotations from Matt Koiz have just been a little bit more quick than Gustavy's. Blue buff not going to have a chance to steal that one away. Gustavy now walking towards the mid lane.
Gustavy's kind of been sitting in this right side jungle for most of the match. And we see him constantly looking for these engagements and picks, but so far Elevate really haven't got the better of them overall, or even when they find the picks, Ymir able to respond with a kill or two of their own. And, you know, you look at the mid lane right now, Aggro a level behind Sambam, so not finding a lot of kills, and I would say Aggro's been getting out of position a couple times there. Got picked a few times more than he should have.
Yeah, Sambam seems to be just on top of it, like the whole game. He's not getting picked. He's one of the 3 people right now that hasn't died, tying with now Matt Koiz, who has great movement, and then, of course, the ever-elusive Guan.
Gustavy and Aggro continuing to sit in this mid lane. We're 16 minutes in, 6 kills to 8 in favor of Team Eager. Gold actually dead even, it seems. Yeah, 100 gold difference. Matt Koiz going to get taunted out there, and he's going to be immediately jump away from that one. Elevate continuing to try and pick Sambam and Matt Koiz. Pooka could be in a little bit of trouble.
They're going to need both solo laners over here because, I mean, Uzzy actually might be in a really good spot here considering once again he forced the back. I don't want to see a teleport. No, you can't do that. That tower is going to go down either way. This is going to give Uzzy not only a free back, but it's going to give him an opportunity to teleport now to the Gold Fury for free. This is going to put Dwurst in a really bad position.
Left-hand side, though, Hoppo getting aggressed onto Aircougar, looking for a couple more autos, and once again, Hoppo is going to fall. Credited to Matt Koiz, though.
Hoppo was moving during the Xbalanque ult and got stunned.
Can't move.
You cannot.
You gotta stop.
That is a mistake that is just like not suitable
Gustavy,
for a land
though,
setting.
Looking for Aircougar. Big top by Pooka.
That's
Big
huge.
double shot. A lot of damage. Blown out. Pooka finds one. Gustavy finds the other. Jellly stuck under the tower. And Elevate, they find 2 return kills on a couple low mana targets. No actives available for either of them.
Double taunt, double spirit ball, double freeze, double silence. Just what were you supposed to do?
It's the circles, man.
It's too many circles.
Pooka and Gustavy looking at the mid lane. Gold Fury is up, but it doesn't look like Elevate really wanted to risk it, especially with Jellly at full health, full mana, and his ultimate. And in the meantime, Uzzy continuing to just sit and outfarm Dwurst.
Okay, Jelly's in a good spot. Going to send Gustavy back, but it's actually Pooka who controls the tower. He's going to give it up a little bit too soon. Gustavy might be alive. No, he stopped. Actually, if he had stopped 1 step sooner, he would have thread the eye. Shame.
Jellly going to get taunted out. His dash is down. He's in a little bit of trouble there. Shell is activated. Hoppo going very aggressive. Spear ball going to be way off the mark, but Uzzy rotated as well. Jellly doing a good job of juking, but it's not good enough.
Teleport?
Aggro finds that
Teleport. No, he's not going to go for it. He sent some shots, and there were warning shots. Are we going to see a whirlwind?
Fear no evil up, and it's actually going to hit 2. Matt Koiz blows up Hotbo. Now they're looking at Uzzy. Uzzy, no mana, going to get chased down as Aircougar's rotated in as well. A couple more autos, and he should be finished off. But Aircougar can't find him. Athena all charged, not in time. Uzzy falls, and Team Eager find 3 return kills.
The big problem there was that Uzzy didn't take his trip back to the base like he should have. With that, he doesn't get to utilize that teleport that he picked up. Aircougar going right for the Gold Fury here. And where Elevate seemed to start making another comeback to start eating things again, it's just going to be about Eager taking down this Gold Fury. Let's see what Elevate has to say about this. We're going to the listen in.
I just got it. Yeah, the gold one. I hit something this time, boys.
We can look at mid.
I'm gonna do ward. I'm gonna.
Be careful of the freeze.
I got a wall here.
Ymir's down again.
I'm not.
To be honest, I don't have
You're
a
late. Way around that.
Imagine.
Third right. Can we fight this?
They're 4 there.
Go top. Go top. Go top.
They're here. They're looking well here. They're behind you.
TPing that ward. Probably TPing to that ward. Can't do it.
Just stay in my ult. Stay in my ult. Stay in my ult.
Okay.
Big time. Out. He's gonna hunt Batz all.
This is still a good fight.
I'm still here. I have ton 8, ton.
I'm here still.
5.
Oh my
shit.
god, that's
Over
slow, dude.
Let's push middle. I can taunt him.
Taunt Jellly, taunt Jellly.
Got
Nice.
taunt, got big taunt.
Nice.
Is that
Janus
Janus?
Janus ult, that's Janus ult.
Stay together, stay together.
Focus,
He's
Push
creeped,
left.
he's creeped.
Stay together. He's pushing. Just
He's
push
pushing,
mid, push
push
mid. He's
middle.
pushing left. Just go push mid. You guys don't have time. Get the tower.
Got taunt.
I mean, it's right every single time Aggro's finding these spirit balls. It's like he can't miss.
And he's hitting these on Xbox. Aggro right now, big plays coming out from him, and Pooka and Aggro seem to have really strong synergy. Tier 2 tower going to be chased on here. It's going to be a 3 versus 4. Darks and Knights, it's activated. Matt Koiz to the back line. He's looking for Aggro, and Aggro going to get blown up, just completely ignored. Uzzy on his horse, though, looking for the stun. Not going to connect Matt Koiz. He's the target. Can Elevate find it? One more hit. Matt Koiz actually going to jump out. Hotpo chases him down, finds the kills. Sunbreaker in the meantime, and Hotpo, couple more autos. Aircougar finds it. Gustavy, though, rotated in.
The poison dart's actually going to take him in the back line. Aircougar very low. Not enough mana to get out of this one. Going to take about 60% of his remaining health, but it's Gustavy by himself. There's no way he's going to have enough damage. He blocks himself out, freeze, and that's not going to be a good enough follow-up. Eager takes that fight despite losing their tier 2, and will have an option, and it looks like they're going to take an option at the Fire Giant.
They're heading there now. You can see the members of Elevate just starting to spawn. It's only Athena. Pooka going to have a hard time trying to get into this one. Sambam going to be taking that ultimate and going to the Fire Giant directly. I don't think there's no Pooka can't even get to this in time.
I think he might be able to, but I don't think he can steal it. He just doesn't have the damage.
I mean, it's just going to come down to luck here. The question is, can he even get there in time? Does he have Blink? It's super low, but Eager, they're going to secure that one. And Pooka, he's stuck in between 4 members of Eager, but he might be able to dash out.
Ooh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close,
Despair.
and he's out of there.
Team Eager, or I'd say Elevate, seem to get way too greedy for that tier 2 tower in mid. They had the secured tier 1, but then they took kind of an awkward 3v4 fight where multiple members kept rotating into the fight.
It's the same thing that happened to Hoppo before. This time, Aggro moved during the end of the Xbalanque ult, and it would be the second time that Matt Koiz gets a kill inside that stun. That's one of those unforgivable mistakes, right? You can't be moving during that ultimate unless you're forced to, and he wasn't forced to.
Elevate now down 12 to 17 in kills. Gold lead in favor of Eager by about 3,300 gold.
Wow.
They can still fight, though. I mean, I would say that, Eager, I like their team comp, later into this game, but they're not far enough ahead that they can just tower dive. Elevate can still fight these engagements. You can see a 3-member group up, though, in the mid lane. It looks like a big rotation over to the right-hand side. They might be trying to pick this Guan and Ymir before they get their backs off.
Spirit Robe coming
gonna
out
happen.
to max out the CDR for Dwurst. Top side for Guan Yu, he has the Jotuns but didn't manage to cap out just yet. Wingblade, it's going to be coming out for Ymir, which means he can't go into either Spirit Robe or Mail of Renewal. That could wind up hurting him.
Tier 1 tower going to be taken by Eager as they have their Fire Giant. They're going to be charging up, looking for as many objectives as they can while they have this power bonus. And Aircougar rotating in as well. There's going to be a 5-man grouping from both teams. We're going to listen in with Eager and see what they're going to do.
If Jellly
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna try to
sure,
dash
sure.
in.
All 5.
Yeah, they can
I
take
can
gate.
blink. I can blink.
Jelly's
They're too
gonna be
far
there.
for ward on you.
Alright, go ahead and
Go for it. Gonna pluck Hoppo. I missed.
That's his mid.
I'm in the back.
Tower
slow.
I'm on boots.
Throw on me in the back.
Tower.
We got Hoppo.
He's in.
Nice.
I'm dashing in. I'm looking at
That's
Ymir.
good to dash.
I'm over the
I
wall.
saw Ymir. I'm out. He has wing
I'll have a
blade.
knock up in a sec. Knocking him up.
Oh, I didn't
Oh,
know.
beautiful double knock up.
Nice. I need help with Guan right here. Guan.
Coming on, Guan.
I need help with Guan.
My shell.
Get the
Nice.
fuck out of here.
That's game. I think we just.
We guys want to take mid tower?
Let's get Phoenix.
No, let's get
Phoenix.
Can we end?
I'm gonna go knock her up.
Yeah, I'll pull her.
Really good communication from the team. Aggro going to get chased as well. Beads used. He should be able to get out of this one. But look at this. Pooka, he's so deep in the middle of 4 players. Nowhere to go. Sambam finds that kill. But
Is this the end?
it could be. I mean, no one's going to be spawning for 14 seconds. Eager, it looks like they're not sure themselves if they want to end, though.
I think they were just pushing the creeps out. They're going to go for it. Remember, Aggro does not have a way out of this. Circle of Protection going to be placed down, popped way too early. And even with that Aegis, it's likely he'll fall. Deicide as Hoppo respawns, throws down the Suns. I don't think it's going to be enough. Titan inside 15%. GG. Game 1 going to Team Eager.
And that really came down to 2 fights that mid tower where it seemed that Elevate just got a tad too aggressive, overcommitted. They lose it, they get wiped, they lose Fire Giant, and that last engagement. I have to say though, Eager's communication was so good there. You could hear Hotbow, Target, all of them directed their attention. After that, it was, all right, let's switch it up to Ymir, and you can actually see, you saw the Sobek really just take that portal between the two Phoenixes and cut off Gustavy before he
with
got
that
out.
tail whip, not even letting him into the tower line, as if it was like a home base. He's like, no. Game 1 goes to Eager. Remember, guys, this is a long day. Best of 5 set. Elevate now must win 3. Eager only needs 2 to win.
That game, though, I would say was pretty even outside of the last 2 fights.
Yeah.
Elevate got a little bit over Eager at the tier 2. It was my one. It was my one. I get one, right?
A few big mistakes. Number 1, aggro and Hoppo moving during the Xbalanque ult. That stuff can't happen, right? I mean, unless you're getting like Sobek tail whipped or something similar, you have to make sure that you're standing still. They got over aggressive, and as a result, they died. And actually, well, let's take a look at the first blood, where in the very beginning of the game, it was just great control from Eager.
Yeah, we missed what happened there, but it just seemed that Jellly hit a real nice pluck, put Hoppo out of position, and then Aircougar found the autos. And, you know, Poison Darts, it does a lot of damage early.
Yes, it does, especially when you have Bluestone Pendant on a level 3 Hou-Yi, right?
Rising Jaguar also actually does bonus damage when you have a player
20%.
marked with the dark. So
Plus,
that used to be way more.
the
too.
Bluestone Pendant.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Bluestone's pretty strong. Hoppo, though, I would say, did seem to be the target of Eager early on. Aircougar looked for as many 1v1s as he could, actually won them most of the times, and then we saw Matt Koiz rotate in, and even in that last engagement, the target was Hotbow. And I would say Hotbow really wasn't even a problem that last fight, right? I'd say aggro was more of a priority target, but the team was just looking to pick Hotbow. It seemed to be that is the player that they were looking to shut down.
Same thing, though. We should see activations of actives have to be a little bit better on the side of Elevate. There were early beads coming out when they didn't need to. I think they got baited a little bit by potential CC. Elevate looked very frightened. And remember, Guan Yu took the tower, had a free back opportunity to teleport to the Gold Fury and didn't take it. He rotated through the map instead, and as a result, couldn't commit to the fight super hard, got caught and died.
Soul Lane matchup, though?
Is that allied?
No, it's not allied. Matt Koiz, though, going to be player of the game on your screen there. Matt Koiz on that that's played very well, I would say. We're going to watch his highlight reel, and his ultimates, there was, I'd say, one ultimate where I was like, probably shouldn't have done that, but the rest of the time just on point, juking out so many of Ymir's freezes as well.
You know, I mean, he's just played beautifully. Matt Koiz, to me, is also the type of player who likes to stick with his guns. If something wins, he likes to stick with it, which is why I'm expecting going into Game 2, we're either going to see a pick or a ban of Hunbots.
Would you imagine that Elevate would look to ban it? Just because they know the player and this is his play style?
Probably. The Ymir jungle obviously is very strong, but I feel like they lacked damage. Every time the Elevate won a fight, it was because of like a cute double taunt into the double spirit, into the double freeze. Like there were so many combos going off. It seems like their team fighting is very strong as a whole, but they're not getting ample opportunity to get those combos off. Eager is just too disruptive.
We're going to be getting into game 2, here shortly. This is the UMG Xbox One LAN. These 4 teams, Juice Gaming, Release, and then the 2 we just watched, ElevateAggro, are competing for $10,000, and the winner will also have the first Xbox spot at the Smite World Championships, where they'll be competing for $150,000.
See, that is the crazy part, is because this spot to Worlds, so early on, a month before the next qualifying spot will open in North America, is just the weight of the world off your shoulders. It's like we don't have to worry about anything. We could spend the next month practicing, just doing our league, trying to win money, not caring about the end result, right? That is the real prize, is that stress-free look into Worlds.
And also the preparation, and it just allows your team to get closer. You don't have to like worry about, all these roster swaps and all this. MLG, they'll be qualifying their spot as well in just under a month, but then it's like all those other teams, they're gonna have to wait for the Smite World Championship. We're gonna have an open bracket live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I already know that Denial's coming, right? There's gonna be some big boys
Denial's
coming.
playing as XGN.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're going to be going to the Smite World Championships to compete in the Xbox One Open tournament.
No, they're playing as XGN right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they went back.
They went back on that?
Yeah, because the XGN roster quit.
Oh.
So they're like, all right, I guess we'll just do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually didn't know that happened. Well, never mind.
I didn't know until
Ignore
like
everything
yesterday.
I just said. Oh, man. We're going to be getting into Game 2, though. You can see Elevate there on your screen. They're getting ready. Checking Twitter, of course. Making sure they got all their followers.
I love Twitter.
Dude, Twitter's so good.
Tweet at us, guys. Hashtag SmiteUMG. Tell us how you're liking the event. Tell us who you think is going to win. We want to hear your thoughts.
Tweet at SmitePro as well. Maybe maybe you'll get retweeted.
Maybe.
Maybe if Dan feels nice.
Which one's Dan?
The really tall one.
F dot?
Tall.
Bart?
Tall. Good looking. Nice hair.
Me?
Tall.
No. Oh, right.
You're
tall,
real
tall.
short.
Forgot
Don't even
tall.
try.
My fault.
But, you know, Game 1, I wouldn't say that was a clean win for Eager. I mean, the last 2 fights were, but the game was pretty back and forth. Do you expect to see Elevate draft a similar composition where a lot of it is about, like, the setup and the synergy, right? The 2-man taunts into the spirit balls, into the freezes.
They're very Guardian heavy, right? I think both teams are very Guardian heavy, and I think they should probably stick with their guns. Don't take that loss as a sign of things to come. The big thing is that Hoppo needs to step it up.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He got outclassed by Aircougar, plain and simple. He gave up first blood. He made it back then later on, and then he gave it away again. Like, there was never a point where I'm like, Hoppo just changed the world, right? I mean, we need to see more pressure, more damage, better shots from the ADC on Elevate if they want a chance to win this.
You know, Hoppo, kind of the player that has to prove a lot here. I mean, he's playing in as a sub, but whether he stays or goes at the end of this LAN once Japu comes back to Elevate, you know, other teams are going to be looking at him. I mean, he is a prominent member of the Xbox community. He is a very good hunter. Maybe he got a little too overzealous in that game. Maybe he was trying to fight Aircougar when he shouldn't. Maybe he was missing shots. Maybe he was a little bit nervous. But at the very least, he needs to have a much better game too if Elevate have a chance at winning.
So after this set, we're going to be watching Juice Gaming and Release. Juice coming in as the 1st seed, Release coming in as the 4th. Beating out Epsilon to get here, which was very impressive. Epsilon doing very well at the MLG LAN not too long ago. Between those two, I mean, obviously you got to look at Xing as the most veteran player.
Yes.
He's been playing since the very beginning of closed beta, way back in 2012. I mean, Xing knows this game back and forth, even if he has to switch to a controller.
Yep. We're going to take a quick break, though, guys, and get back with Eager versus Elevate Game 2 just shortly.